The Galactic Empire's messenger fleet arrived over Earth at dawn, their vessels hanging like silent gods above the planet's atmosphere. The sky turned an eerie silver as the sunlight refracted off the alien alloy of the Imperial ships. Across the world, news broadcasts shifted focus to the orbiting visitors, displaying the Imperial crest, a stark emblem of unyielding authority, on every screen. In Geneva, the Earth's Unified Leadership Council convened. Heads of state, scientists, and military commanders from every nation crowded into the Grand Assembly Hall, their voices echoing off the curved, polished walls. At the head of the room, President Rhea Grant, the elected representative of Earth's Council, stood grim-faced as she read the Empire's transmission. The message was brief and unmistakably imperial. Earth's reckless pursuit of advanced technology threatens galactic stability. Surrender the hyperquantum propulsion drive and submit to Imperial authority. Failure to comply will result in your immediate subjugation. This is your only warning. A tense silence followed. The hyperquantum propulsion drive, developed in secrecy by a coalition of Earth's top scientists, was humanity's first attempt to break free from the constraints of the Empire's imposed technological limits. The drive was a symbol of hope, a tool to expand humanity's reach among the stars. But now it was a target. Dr. Elena Matsuo, the physicist who had spearheaded the drive's creation, broke the silence. They want to bury us. They've controlled interstellar travel for centuries, monopolizing faster-than-light technology to maintain their dominance. If we give this up, we'll never be more than a backwater species in their eyes. General Hector Vargas, his uniform bristling with medals from Earth's internecine conflicts, leaned forward. And if we don't, they'll turn our planet into a smoldering wasteland. We've seen what they did to the Kylons. The Kylons fought without strategy or unity, President Grant replied. Her voice, calm but firm, carried the weight of the decision before them. Earth is not the Kylons. We built this drive. We've survived our own wars and disasters. We can survive this. Around the table, dissenting voices rose. Some argued for surrender, fearing annihilation. Others demanded defiance, unwilling to bow to a distant empire. In the end, the room turned to Grant. As president, the final decision rested with her. She straightened her shoulders and spoke with a conviction that silenced all arguments. We will not surrender, she declared. We will fight. For our future and for the right to stand as equals in this galaxy. Hours later, Earth's refusal was broadcast across the planet and directly to the Empire's fleet. The Imperial response was immediate. A transmission from Commander Velkith, the fleet's coldly efficient leader, reached the Council. You have chosen defiance over wisdom, Velkith said, his voice reverberating through speakers worldwide. His insectoid features remained impassive as he continued, Earth's resistance is meaningless. We will demonstrate the futility of your rebellion. With that, the Empire deployed its first wave, a flotilla of sleek, advanced warships descending through Earth's atmosphere. They targeted Earth's largest cities, intending to cripple the planet's infrastructure and force compliance without unnecessary destruction. But humanity was prepared. In orbit, Earth's defense satellites powered up. Decades of mistrust and Cold War paranoia had led to the development of weapon systems that, while primitive by galactic standards, were deadly in their simplicity. Ballistic missile arrays, EMP drones, and railgun platforms locked onto the descending ships. The first volley was devastating. An electromagnetic pulse tore through the Empire's electronic shielding, disabling half of the incoming vessels. Earth's railguns fired tungsten rods at hypervelocity, ripping through the unshielded ships like paper. The debris of the initial wave burned up in the atmosphere, a deadly fireworks display that awed and terrified the millions watching from below. On the ground, resistance forces mobilized. Across continents, humans fought with a desperation born of survival. Civilians turned makeshift weapons against Imperial drones, while engineers hacked into captured alien systems to repurpose them for Earth's defenses. By the time the Empire's fleet regrouped, they had suffered significant losses. Commander Velkith, watching from his flagship, frowned, a rare expression of frustration for his kind. These humans, They are more resourceful than expected, he muttered. Velketh ordered a tactical retreat, unwilling to waste more resources on a planet he deemed insignificant. Let them bask in their victory, he told his officers. We will return with overwhelming force and erase their defiance. As the Empire's ships vanished into hyperspace, Earth erupted in celebration. The victory was symbolic, a David versus Goliath moment that ignited a sense of unity and determination across the planet. In the aftermath, President Grant addressed the world. Today we have shown that humanity will not kneel. But this is only the beginning. The Empire will return, and we must be ready. Together, we will stand as one world, one people, and show the galaxy that Earth is not to be underestimated. The cheers from billions echoed across the planet, but beneath the surface, there was a gnawing fear. Humanity had won the first battle, but the war with the Galactic Empire had only just begun. The Empire's second fleet arrived 2 weeks later, its numbers tripling the first assault. Massive dreadnoughts, bristling with advanced weaponry, dwarfed the earlier vessels. They moved with deliberate precision, their formation flawless, a show of imperial strength meant to crush Earth's morale. In a hidden command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, President Grant and her War Council watched the fleet's approach on holographic displays. Tension filled the room. General Hector Vargas spoke first, his voice steady but grim. This is no show of force. It's an extermination fleet. They intend to wipe us out. We've prepared for this, Dr. Elena Matsuo said. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, scanned the fleet's formation. Our analysis of the captured Imperial tech revealed a structural flaw in their dreadnoughts' power cores. If we can exploit it, how long before they're in range? President Grant interrupted. 30 minutes, an officer replied. Grant nodded. Then let's make those 30 minutes count. General, execute the plan. As the Imperial fleet entered Earth's orbit, the humans struck first. From hidden silos scattered across the planet, humanity launched a coordinated attack. Kinetic kill missiles, guided by advanced AI, screamed toward the Imperial ships. These weapons didn't rely on sophisticated energy systems the Empire could counter. They were brutally simple, relying on sheer speed and mass. The Empire's shields flared, absorbing much of the initial barrage, but the missiles weren't the true threat. They were a distraction. From a nearby asteroid belt, a cluster of weaponized asteroids, camouflaged and maneuvered by Earth's fledgling space force, hurtled toward the fleet. The Empire's commanders, confident in their technological superiority, didn't anticipate such primitive yet effective tactics. By the time they registered the threat, it was too late. One of the lead dreadnoughts took a direct hit, the asteroid's impact splitting its hull and exposing its core. A chain reaction followed, and the ship detonated in a blinding explosion that shook the entire fleet. On the ground, Earth's forces celebrated the first dreadnought's destruction, but the battle was far from over. The Empire retaliated, launching precision orbital strikes at Earth's key military facilities. Massive plasma beams carved through the atmosphere, obliterating targets with surgical accuracy. Yet humanity had anticipated this. Decoy facilities, built to mimic real installations, absorbed the brunt of the attack. Meanwhile, guerrilla strike teams on the ground used hacked Imperial drones to infiltrate and disable the Empire's forward command outposts. In orbit, Earth's reverse-engineered fighters, hybrid crafts combining human ingenuity with alien technology, engaged Imperial frigates. The pilots, seasoned from Earth's centuries of conflict, employed erratic, unpredictable tactics that confounded the Empire's rigid formations. By the time the battle ended, the Imperial fleet was in shambles. For dreadnoughts and countless smaller vessels were destroyed, their wreckage now orbiting Earth as grim trophies. Humanity had suffered losses, too, but the victory was undeniable. Commander Velketh, wounded and humiliated, ordered the remnants of his fleet to retreat. Before leaving, he transmitted a final message to Earth. You may have won today, but you have sealed your doom. The Empire will not forgive this insult. In the aftermath, Earth mourned its fallen but celebrated its triumph. President Grant addressed the world from a surviving broadcast center. We have struck our first blow against the Empire. They underestimated us, and we proved our strength. But this victory is not the end. It is only the beginning. The road ahead will be long and perilous, but we will fight for our survival, for our freedom, and for our place among the stars. Humanity was no longer a mere backwater species. It had drawn blood from the Empire, and the galaxy was beginning to take notice. The Empire's defeat over Earth sent ripples through the galaxy. Broadcasts of the battle, humanity's ingenuity, resilience, and ultimate victory spread like wildfire across suppressed worlds. On planets ruled by the Empire's iron fist, whispers began to grow. If Earth, a primitive world, could stand against the Empire, what might others achieve together? In a dimly lit conference room aboard the Prometheus, Earth's first long-range diplomatic vessel, President Grant and her team prepared for a mission unlike any before. Their goal was audacious: to forge alliances with the oppressed species of the galaxy and build a coalition capable of taking on the Galactic Empire. Their first destination was the HFY Confederacy, a group of insectoid beings who had long been subjugated to mining labor on the Empire's barren frontier worlds. The HFY were wary, their queen skeptical of Earth's intentions. "You are bold to come here," the queen hissed, her multifaceted eyes glinting in the dim chamber. "The Empire has crushed countless rebellions before. Why should we trust you?" Dr. Elena Matsuo stepped forward. "Because you've seen the proof. We defeated their fleet with ingenuity, not numbers. And we learned something valuable: they're not invincible. Together, we can break their chains and create a galaxy where no one lives under their shadow." The Queen considered this. "And what would you demand in return?" "Only your partnership," President Grant replied. "We fight as equals with shared risks and rewards. Nothing more, nothing less." After tense deliberation, the Queen agreed, sending a delegation of HFY engineers and soldiers to join the cause. It was a small victory, but one that opened the door to more. Next, the humans traveled to Gylax Prime, home of the Overin, a species renowned for their psychic abilities but deeply pacifist by nature. The Overin had long suffered under the Empire's yoke, their talents exploited to power imperial war machines. Earth's delegation met with Elder Cassine, an aged Overin whose mind touched theirs through telepathic waves. "Your path is steeped in violence," Cassine said, his voice echoing in their minds. "We do not wish to exchange one oppressor for another." President Grant replied firmly, "We understand your fears. But this isn't just our fight. It's yours too. Without action, the Empire will continue to exploit you. Help us, and we'll ensure a future where your people can live without fear." The Overin reluctantly agreed, offering their psychic abilities for intelligence gathering and battlefield coordination. The final stop was a forgotten asteroid belt known as the Fractured Verge, where rogue AI factions had carved out an existence after being deemed dangerous by the Empire. These entities were unpredictable and distrustful, but Earth's engineers appealed to their logic. "You've been hunted by the Empire for centuries," Dr. Matsuo argued. "But with us, you'll be allies. We need your computing power and strategic capabilities. And in return, we'll help you secure your freedom." The AI Collective, after a lengthy negotiation, joined the coalition, their vast computational networks promising a critical advantage. By the end of their journey, Earth had succeeded in uniting a diverse and fragile alliance. The coalition was not without its challenges: cultural misunderstandings, conflicting priorities, and questions of leadership loomed large. But for the first time, species from across the galaxy stood together, united by a common cause. In the heart of the Prometheus, President Grant addressed the coalition's first council. "We are bound by our shared struggle against tyranny. The Empire believes its power is absolute, but we've shown them otherwise. Together, we are stronger than they could ever imagine. This is our chance to forge a new future, for Earth, for HFY, for Overin, and for every species the Empire has oppressed. The fight will not be easy, but together we will win." The room erupted in agreement, the spark of rebellion now a growing flame. The stage was set, and the galaxy's first true coalition was ready to strike back against the Empire. The Empire's response was swift and merciless. Weeks after the coalition's formation, Imperial probes discovered Earth's involvement in organizing the growing rebellion. The Emperor himself issued a decree. Earth would be made an example. The largest fleet in Imperial history was dispatched, led by Supreme Commander Velketh. It was an armada of unthinkable size, hundreds of dreadnoughts, carriers, and escorts, designed for one purpose: obliteration. In Earth's command bunker, hidden beneath the ruins of a decoy capital, President Grant and her council watched the incoming fleet. The holographic display projected a terrifying sight: a swarm of Imperial ships blotting out the stars. "They're here," General Vargas muttered, his jaw tight. President Grant turned to Dr. Matsuo. "Is it ready?" Matsuo hesitated. "The quantum singularity array is operational, but it's untested. If we deploy it, the consequences could be catastrophic." Grant's voice was steady. "If we don't, there won't be an Earth left to protect. Prepare it." The coalition forces assembled in Earth's orbit, a patchwork of human ships, crack swarms, Overn psychics, and AI-piloted strike craft. Though vastly outnumbered, their unity was their greatest weapon. The coalition's strategy relied on precision strikes, exploiting the Empire's rigid formations. The battle began with an explosion of light and sound. Coalition ships darted through the Imperial lines, targeting weak points identified by human engineers. Overn psychics disrupted enemy communications, sowing confusion among the Imperial ranks. Crack vessels, fast and agile, outmaneuvered larger ships, tearing through their defenses. But the Empire's numbers were overwhelming. For every dreadnought destroyed, 2 more emerged. Earth's defenses buckled under the relentless assault. Cities crumbled as orbital strikes pierced the atmosphere. In the bunker, Grant clenched her fists. "It's time. Activate the array." Deep beneath Earth's surface, the quantum singularity array roared to life. It was humanity's final gambit, a weapon capable of collapsing space-time itself. Designed as a deterrent, it was never meant to be used. But now there was no choice. The array unleashed a pulse of energy unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The space-time around the Imperial fleet twisted and fractured, trapping ships in gravitational eddies. Dreadnoughts were torn apart as the singularity consumed them. The once invincible armada was reduced to debris, scattered across the void. The coalition forces cheered, but their victory came at a terrible cost. The singularity's power destabilized Earth's core, triggering massive tectonic shifts. The planet itself began to collapse, its surface cracking open as molten lava surged forth. In the final moments, evacuation ships launched from Earth, carrying as many survivors as possible. President Grant stood in the command bunker, watching the destruction unfold. Her voice, recorded for posterity, was calm and resolute. "Earth's last mistake has saved the galaxy. We have paid a great price, but we have ensured freedom for all who stand against tyranny. Remember us not for what we've lost, but for what we've gained. A chance to build a better future." As the last ships ascended, Earth's surface erupted in a fiery inferno. The coalition's fleet, battered but victorious, regrouped in the safety of deep space. The Empire was broken, its largest fleet destroyed, its grip on the galaxy shattered. The coalition, now leaderless but united in purpose, vowed to carry on the fight. Earth was gone, but its spirit endured, a symbol of defiance and sacrifice. In the quiet aftermath, Dr. Matsuo stood aboard a refugee ship, staring out at the remnants of her homeworld. "We'll rebuild," she whispered, "not just for Earth, but for everyone." And so began a new era, born from the ashes of Earth's last stand. The galaxy, once ruled by fear, now stood on the brink of revolution.